Hello. Today I'm at my school's rooftop, and today is a rainy day and my hair is all greasy, so I decided to talk about a more serious and somewhat sad topic. So I thought this would be a good atmosphere. So today I wanted to talk about unrequited love, when you fell for someone you couldn't have. So yeah, I'll be talking a little bit about my experience, and I'll tell you guys a big secret today. So my big secret is I confessed to someone before and got rejected. So a few years ago, I had a very close friend and I had very strong feelings for this person. And as someone who's an introvert and doesn't have a lot of friends, it's very hard for me to make strong bonds with people. And especially like emotional bonds is very hard to find. So yeah, with this person, like it felt like I could talk to them about anything and feelings happened. I ended up falling for this person and I ended up imagining a whole future with them and imagined what it would be like if we were in a romantic relationship. And because I thought that if we were in a romantic relationship that things would go well just because we were already good friends, but at the same time I didn't know how he felt like, to be honest. And I know this is like one of the big signs, like red flags that I should have seen from the beginning, that if I didn't know that he liked me back and it wasn't obvious, then it's probably a big sign that he didn't like me. But yeah, young Sunny didn't really think much about that aspect. So the way I confessed was, yeah, I'm very shy and I'm very like I'm not very confrontative person, so it was very hard for me to actually confess to someone. And and I respect people so much for people who have confessed openly, because it's so brave of you guys to do that, and I know how hard it is to do that. And yeah, the way it happened is I asked them one day, I texted them if they want to go to a cafe, and they knew something was weird because we usually don't ever meet at cafes. And yeah, I told them that they asked me like, "Oh, what is the reason why we're going to a cafe?" And I said that it's because I wanted to talk to you about something important. And I think they knew that I was about to confess. So they straight up asked me like, it's funny thinking about it now because it's in the past, but yeah, they asked me like, "Are you going to confess to me? And do you have feelings for me?" Like they straight up asked me that, and I was so taken aback. I was like, "How did this person know? Like, was I that obvious?" But because I think I'm not a very obvious person when I like someone, but maybe it was the setting, like me asking them to like a cafe and me asking like telling them I want to tell you something very important. So I said that yes, I did have feelings for you and I wanted to know your feelings as well. And my heart was racing so badly. I remember this distinctively. I remember like I was holding on to like my water bottle, I think, at the time, like so hard, because I was like, oh, what is, like, the response also took so long, and I was like waiting and waiting just to see like what they would say. And in the end, their response was, "I'm sorry, I just don't feel the same way." And I respect them for being so honest about that, because I know how hard it is to be honest and how hard it is knowing that you hurt someone. Because when you confess to someone, it's hard on both sides. It's either you get rejected or you get your feelings hurt if someone's getting rejected. So yeah, that's what happened. And young Sunny was really sad. She was heartbroken for the first time, and she didn't know how to react, to be honest, because this was the first time she liked someone that much, and it was the first time that she confessed. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. It's hard when you fell for someone that doesn't feel the same way about you. And Yeah, but I realized that that's just life, that's reality, and that's just how life goes sometimes. You know, rejection is a part of life, pain is inevitable, and yeah, it hurt. Risk about confessing to someone. It's either your relationship will end up the way you imagined, or it's gonna end up the way that you don't imagine. And at the time, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand their feelings. Like, I wanted to know the real reason why they rejected me in the beginning. And I thought about, like, if I was prettier, if I was smarter, if I was had a better personality, like, would they accept me? And now growing up, I know that those thoughts are not true at all, and it has nothing to do with my qualities. And they just, yeah, it's no one's fault. You know, after this experience, I started to understand that sometimes you'll never get closure on anything. And I'm someone who always wants to find like the answers to things, or find a reason about things, or I'm just someone who likes conclusions. But most things and a lot of things in life, you'll never get your answer. You'll never get the conclusion. You'll never get closure. And that's okay. That's part of life. I know it must have been hard on him too, because yeah, it's hard to reject someone that you knew like quite well. And and I'll be honest, I've been on his side too. I've also rejected people, and I can't, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I've never like had that experience. Like, I understand his side completely. Like, sometimes you don't even know why you don't like you have no feelings for this person. And or maybe it's not the right time, or maybe it's just that you're scared of relationships or your attachment style. And yeah, there's so many factors to why you could reject someone. And our relationship ended on that day. Like, we never talked to each other after that. You know, I don't know anything that's going on in his life anymore. And yeah, that's just part of life. You're gonna lose people. I didn't know this was gonna get emotional. um, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, and it hurts. But I'm not gonna say that I did the same thing as well. I know that it's hard on both sides, and it's not anyone's fault. You can't force someone to like you back, and that's just life. It doesn't work out that way. And I know that person was a very good person, so I have no hard feelings. I learned a lot from this experience, and it made me a better person, to be honest. And I am grateful for that person. It taught me a lot, and I believe that I can change. And I think I've already changed so much. Like, I've become someone who's very open to another relationship, and I became someone who is perfectly fine on her own too. And I think that I started to love myself a lot more after this experience. And yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure that so many people can relate. And I was watching this Psych to Go video about 10 ways to deal with unrequited love. So I wanted to go through the list with you guys because I think it helped me a lot get over this. So the first thing is, you should allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to let out all the emotions, and don't bottle up your emotions. That's just going to hurt you more. And yeah, it's someone you had very strong feelings for, and it makes sense that you're hurt over this. So there's no reason why not to be sad about it. And the second thing is, realize you're not alone. There are so many people, like, I think almost everyone, almost not almost everyone, but yep, a lot of people went through unrequited love and one-sided love, and it's such a common experience. So if you realize that, then it'll make you feel a lot better knowing that you're not alone. And yeah, maybe the third thing is ask yourself like patterns about rejection. Maybe you're just finding the people who reject you the same way, or you're finding the same types of people. So try to avoid and try another option, and maybe that way will go better. And that's what I realized too. And the fourth thing is that you should realize that it's hard on the other person too. And I know this from personal experience too. It's very hard to be on the side where you reject someone too. And yeah, this experience is very interesting because I learned both sides of what it feels like. And it gave me so much perspective, and it made me grow into a better person. I realized that the person who's rejecting you also knows that they know that they hurt your feelings, and it wasn't their intention, and it's not their fault either, because yeah, it was put on them and maybe they didn't expect it, and it's just life, and it's no one's fault about that. And you should distance yourself from that person. Even if you guys agreed to still be friends, it's good to have a distance, and it's good not to see each other for a while and have no contact. It helps a lot during the healing process, and it's very important to go through this step, even though it's very hard. I know how hard it can be not to talk to someone again, like someone you were very close with. It just feels weird. And yeah. The sixth thing is treat your feelings like it's someone else's feelings. Treat yourself like it's your best friend, and know that, yeah, if it's your best friend, you would comfort them, right? So you should comfort yourself and know that you are enough, and that this experience should not have any impact on your self-worth or how you feel about yourself. The seventh thing is focus on non-romantic media. And yeah, for example, I started to longboard again after this experience. Yeah, it's very interesting because I haven't longboarded in such a long time, but I realized that I missed out on a lot of hobbies and passions I was curious about before. I started to read so many books and start up new hobbies. Like reading books was a new hobby. And I think because of this experience, I started to enjoy reading a lot, and I read almost every day. And I started to study a lot more actually. So I think that this experience gave me very healthy habits as well. Yeah, be inspired by your feelings. Like, you got hurt and maybe you hit rock bottom, but that's your opportunity. The only way from rock bottom is to go up, right? So take that opportunity and go up as high as you can to the top of the mountain, no matter how high that is. And yeah, the ninth thing I think was the hardest for me is don't search for closure. Some things in it's not like math where you get the answer to an equation. Like life is sometimes you'll never get an answer to anything, and that's life. And that's the part that hurts the most for me, like not getting closure on things, especially someone who wants answers to a lot of things. But I know that it's impossible to get answers for things like this. And whatever you do, you won't get the answer. And it's time to accept that. And the 10th thing is don't give up on love. I really regret this. I think I made this experience such a big thing to the point where I missed out on other opportunities for love, and I made it impact me a lot. And yeah, now that I've grown up more, I realize that you should never give up on love and take every opportunity you have, because life is so short. We don't live that long. And yeah, if you're interested in being in a relationship and finding love, then search for it or take every opportunity you have. But if you're hurt from an actual relationship and hurt from or a rejection or one-sided love, then you should take time to heal before you get into a relationship, or that's just gonna hurt the other person in the relationship if you're still not healed from your previous relationship. But if you're healed and if you did all the things above, then don't give up on love, because love can be something magical. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I know this was a very long rant and it was very personal, more personal than I expected. But I hope that it was relatable, and I hope that maybe it helped some of you guys going through the same thing. And yeah, the weather got clearer. Maybe that's a sign. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day and see you in the next video if you end up watching it. Bye.